8310864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck. Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound. That's it in. 1.4 to go.
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field. Back toward the wall. Gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
2-1. One hop to the second baseman. The throw to Cowley. In time! The Ducks are headed to the Super Regionals. For the first time since 2012, Oregon advances to the Super Regionals. 11-2, the Ducks take down Xavier. The Ducks win the Nashville Regional with a 3-0 record.
Feeling good on a Monday. The Super Ducks advancing to the Super Regionals. Oregon goes 3-0 in the Nashville Regional. They sweep their way through the bracket and go on to the Supers. Hello and welcome into the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on a Monday. I'm Ryan Milano filling in for Joey Mack. The baseball team, along with Joey, just lifted off to leave Nashville. Probably a pretty happy plane ride. I haven't experienced a plane ride quite like that, Scott, but I do think that plane ride is going to be a whole bunch of fun. Have you been on one of those plane rides before after a trip like that?
Several for football, like the Pac-12 championship games. Those flights back are always top-notch.
Top-notch.
So much fun.
They must go by pretty fast.
Oh, yeah.
I just hope that I'll be able to experience something like that at some course throughout my career, because Oregon has been rolling on the diamond as of late. Don't start keeping track now, because it's 9 W's in a row for Oregon baseball. Won the last 2 of the regular season, swept through the Pac-12 tournament, got the win in the Pac-12 tournament, Pac-12 champion Ducks, also Nashville regional champion Ducks, as they go 3-0 through the Nashville Regional. They took down Xavier in Game 1 on Friday, took down Vanderbilt in Game 2 on Saturday, took down Xavier again in the regional final on Sunday. We'll break it down all for you here on Duck Insider here in the 1 o'clock hour, and we'll also hear from Coach Wazakowski as well as some student athletes post-game after the win in the regional final against Xavier to advance to the Supers. All that on the show for you today. It is a baseball-filled hour here with Ryan Milano on Duck Insider. And first, let's go to that Game 1, because it was the 2 and the 3 seed. Ducks were the 2. Xavier was the 3. It was a team that Oregon had matched up against 4 times prior going into Game 1. Ducks took care of business. Our good friends at the Go Ducks team, Rob Mosley, Jackson Madden, they were there. They were capturing it all, and they put together video recaps of each game. We'll get to the one for Game 1. And actually, we'll get to the recap for Game 1 after the video. So here is the video put together by the Go Ducks team.
The Ducks getting ready to take on Xavier to begin the regional here in Nashville. Playing at Hawkins Field, the home of Vanderbilt. Cowley, he rips one to right. The Ducks are on the board. Shade doubles off the wall to tie the game. Cowley hits one well in the air to right. The Ducks lead it 5-4. Stop. Cowley to Grant. Grant to Walsh. Double play. Ducks win 5-4. And Oregon is 1-0 in the Nashville Regional.
We talked with Joey on Thursday before this matchup, and we asked him the big key for success in the regional format. Take game one. That's exactly what the Ducks did on Friday versus Xavier. They got into the winner's bracket, and here's how they got it done. It was Logan Mercado on the bump for the Ducks, and it was a track meet early for both teams in this Friday game to start off the Nashville Regional. Logan Mercado pitched well in this ballgame, but he did get touched up a little bit in the first. He got touched up for 2 runs, but Oregon, this was really the theme of the regional. We'll get to this throughout. Oregon answered. Every single time it felt like Oregon was up against the wall because the Ducks were in a lot of competitive games in this regional, and while the final score of especially the last game wasn't particularly close, every single one of these games had pivotal turning points in it where the offense, I think, really stepped up and came through. So after the 2 in the first, Oregon answered back with 2 of their own offensively. Riku Nishida, Colby Shade, Drew Cowley, they strung together 3 consecutive singles to start off the game. That 1-2-3, we'll get to them a little bit later because they continued to go 1-2-3, especially in this ball game, to come through with some big hits. But they started off the offense with those 3 consecutive singles to get the game back to 2 apiece. And then in the bottom of the second, Jacob Walsh, he started the offense. It was a leadoff double. Then a bit of difficulty by the Musketeers defense put runners on the corners, and even a funkier play scored Jacob Walsh. It was a weird throwdown, attempted back pick over to third. The throw was high for the third baseman. It hit his glove, but it leaked out of his glove. I thought that Oregon caught a break there. Jacob Walsh was about a third of the way back to the bag. It looked like if it was a clean play by the Musketeers, then Walsh might have been dead to rights, but the Ducks caught a break. And that's how Oregon was successful in this ballgame. It was catching breaks for the Ducks, and catching breaks for Jacob Walsh put Oregon up by 1 after he was able to score due to his base running. Logan Mercado, I mentioned he pitched well, but his pitch count sort of ramped up through the first few innings, so he was taken out early. Grayson Grinsell, he comes in for the third. He gave up 2 runs, and the Musketeers led 4-3 after 3. But that's when the Ducks pitching staff really settled in. And it wasn't just Oregon's pitching staff, it was Xavier's pitching staff. Both really settled in. But for the Ducks, Grinsell, after giving up those 2 in the third, he got a shutdown fourth. Handed the ball to Dylan McShane, who has been really good as of late. He got in the 5th. He shut it down. An inning and 2/3, he pitched scoreless in the ball game, where he handed the ball off to Austin Anderson, who came in, faced 4 batters, got 4 outs. This Duck bullpen over this 9-game winning streak has been absolutely nails, and it was again in the regional, in particular in game 1, because Mercado didn't go deep. Oregon had to rely on the bullpen, and Grinsell, McShane, Anderson kept the Ducks afloat in this ball game when the offense went a little stagnant, because after the 3 runs that Oregon scored early, Xavier's starting pitcher really settled in. He went 6 1/3 innings in this ball game and didn't run into any more trouble until the 7th, but that's when he ran into trouble. I mentioned those 3 players started off the game with singles: Nishida, Shade, Cowley. 1, 2, 3. All right, well, Riku Nishida, a 1-out double. It forced Xavier to go to the bullpen, drove the starting pitcher out of the ballgame. That's double number 1. Colby Shade, double number 2, off the first new arm that the Ducks saw in that regional. He got the double, tied up the game at 4 apiece. Very next batter, Drew Cowley, with a double right behind him, put the Ducks up 5-4. It's what Oregon needed, and the Ducks took that 5-4 lead into the 7th, where Oregon kept passing it deeper and deeper into the bullpen. Matt Dallas shut down the 8th. Josh Malaris shut down the 9th. It was enough for the Ducks to get the victory 5-4 in a game that was close throughout. And you look back through the ball game, that Jacob Walsh play, so important. The play for the Ducks to start off the game with that Nishida-Shade Cali combo. It came up big twice in the ball game. Oregon won 5-4. So big to be in the winner's bracket where Oregon would then face up against Vanderbilt. That would be the game on Saturday in game number 2. And this was a host in Vanderbilt. Depending on which poll you looked at, Vanderbilt as high as the 3rd-ranked team in the country. They were the 6th seed in the regionals, so the 6th highest team in the country across the NCAA metrics. It was a nail-biter of a ball game. The recap video from Go Ducks, here it is.
Ducks win 8-7. And Oregon is in the regional final here in Nashville.
This is the moment of a lifetime. The clock's ticking like my lifeline. Until I flatline, I push it to the red line. Who gon' stop me high?
Hits it out of here.
Who gon' stop me in my moment? Who gon' stop me when I'm going?
Tanner Smith is crushed to right field. Tanner Smith, sayonara. Cowley scores. Ceballos scores. Drew Smith coming home. He scores. Bases clearing double for Jacob Walsh.
Shane, what are you getting right now? Lock in. You're 7, 8, 9 right now.
Barehanded pickup, throw to first, got him! What a play, Ceballos! Ceballos, barehand play, the throw to first, they got him.
I loved that. And what I loved even more was the look we got into the dugout with Coach Wazakowski talking to his team. It's 7-8-9 right now. Let's lock in. I love the view that Jackson Madden got for that video. Great job by the Go Ducks creative team getting that done. So let's break down the game against Vanderbilt. It's hard to bury the lead when you open the show with Ducks are super bound. It's hard to bury the lead when you open the recap with 8-7 victory for the Ducks. So Oregon would win this game. They'd win this game in close fashion, but how would Oregon get it done? First, it was once again an offensive showcase early. It felt like whichever team jumped out to the early lead was going to have the advantage because you could feel the high potency of these offenses. Vanderbilt, a really good offense. Oregon, one of the best 1-9s in the country for my money. Top to bottom, there's protection across the lineup. You knew that the offense was going to be off the charts, but you also knew that there was going to be a few innings in there where the pitchers would settle in. That wasn't the case to start. Riku Nishida, he wore one to start off the game. Another time where Riku Nishida, as the leadoff hitter, got on base and made things happen. Drew Cowley, a little flare single into right field. Nishida goes first to third, draws a poor throw to third base, stealing bases. It goes into the camera well dugout. Nishida's able to score. Over to third goes Cali, and that's where Riku Nishida's speed really makes a difference. So instead of what could have very easily been runners on first and second or runners on the corners with no one out, turns into Ducks already up 1-0 with a runner on third and still no one out. So Oregon, they take the advantage early, and it paid off in the inning because Sabine Ceballos was able to drive in Drew Cowley with the ground ball. Excuse me, one out in that scenario. But the point still stands. You have a runner on third in a situation where a ground ball is able to score him now. That adds another run on the board. It's 2-0. And then with 2 outs in the inning, it was Tanner Smith. He came up to the plate, and he corked A 2-out home run, which I thought really set the tone. A record-tying home run for Tanner Smith. He is atop the Oregon leaderboard in home runs. At least he's tied with it. The 30th career home run for Tanner Smith. It puts him in a tie with Tom Dodd, who played in the late 70s for the Oregon Ducks, 1977-1979. In first place for home runs all-time in green and yellow. Tanner Smith, the modern era home run record holder and the all-time tie for the home run record. Tanner Smith, congratulations. Big time, big fly. And even more important than the record, in my opinion, is what I just mentioned. It set the tone for the ball game. Tanner Smith was able to make it 3-0, and Vanderbilt's offense, you knew, was not going to go down quietly. It was Turner Spoljaric on the bump for the Ducks to start. Vanderbilt had early success offensively. In the first, Vanderbilt put up one on the board, made it 3-1. The Ducks would create more separation in the top of the second. This, I thought, was one of the best at-bats of the whole weekend. The catcher, Bennett Thompson, at the plate, battling in the box, fouled off multiple two-strike pitches. He got to a 10-pitch at-bat, a 3-2 count, fly ball into right center field, home run. Bennett Thompson made it 4-1 for the Ducks. It wouldn't hold for long. Vandy responded quickly. Home half of the inning, Vanderbilt put up 3. It was tied at 4. It really felt like this was a heavyweight boxing match. Oregon got a haymaker in the first inning. Then it was a jab from Vanderbilt to get one back. Oregon jabbed back to extend the lead back to 3 in the top of the second. Then it was the Vanderbilt haymaker. Tied it right back up at 4 apiece. Then it sort of settled down. Third inning, fourth inning, Turner Spoljaric settled in, got out of those innings clean. Same thing for the Ducks. They weren't able to score in the third and the fourth. Vanderbilt settled down. They got through those innings clean. Then it was the fifth. That's where the Ducks really started to do their damage in the fifth inning. Nishida, Cali, Ceballos, they all singled. Drove in a run as Nishida came around to score, made it 5-4. Drew Smith walked to load the bases. And then with 2 outs, it was Jacob Walsh who went opposite way with a 2-out bases-clearing double to give the Ducks an 8-4 lead in the fifth. And that's what I thought was so great about this Oregon hitting this weekend, the professional approach at the plate. You see it a lot in collegiate baseball where there are pitches and with so much power, especially for a team like Oregon who continuously sets home run record after home run record for the program year after year, to try to pull the ball, to try to get out in front, open up that shoulder. That's not this Oregon team. The reason why the Ducks have success offensively and have the power numbers is because of the power to all fields. And Jacob Walsh got it done where there was a pitch on the outside. He took it where it was supposed to go. Inside out swing into left center field. Cleared the bases for Oregon and ended up giving them the advantage 8-4 in the ballgame. And the Ducks would need every bit of it because Turner Spoljaric, He gave up those 4 in the first 2 innings, but this game would get tight late. But I think Turner Spoljaric might have been the unsung hero of this ball game because you look at the final line for Spoljaric, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 strikeouts. That is a solid final line, but it's not a quality start. Those 4 earned runs, those are a bit more runs than a quality start, but it wasn't what he was asked to do. What he was asked to do was to eat innings for the bullpen. And after he gave up those 4 earned runs in the first 2 innings, that's when he really settled in. In the last 4 innings, he gave up just 1 hit and 1 walk, allowed 3 base runners, including 1 more on an error. Turner Spoljaric was awesome in this game. And he's starting to stack starts together. He got that Pac-12 Pitcher of the Week nod against Utah in the final week of the regular season. Then he pitched against Arizona in the final game of the Pac-12 tournament, got the win there. And now Turner Spoljaric with another really good start, in my opinion, against Vanderbilt, where he would eventually get the win in this ballgame, but we're not there yet because this game does get tight. Because Turner Spoljaric handed the ball to Austin Anderson in the 7th inning. And Anderson was really good to start out his outing. Got 2 really quick outs. but then he lost command a little bit. Started walking batters, hit a batter, loaded the bases, and in the middle of a 2-0 count, it was Jake Angier who made the decision to go to Matt Dallas out of the bullpen in a big spot to try to extend out the hold for Oregon. And in that spot, Matt Dallas, who had pitched the day prior, pitched well the day prior, in a regional format where you know you're going to use up your pitchers, it was a gutsy decision by the Oregon coaching staff to go to Matt Dallas early. It worked. Dallas couldn't get out of the 2-0 hole in the batter that he came in to face, but what he did do was, with bases loaded and now an 8-5 ball game after the walk scored a run, he got a ground ball to Sabine Ceballos, and Ceballos did the rest. It was one of probably the best play of the region. It made SportsCenter top 10 at number 8 the night it happened. Sabine Ceballos with a play that was a complete game changer, and when Vanderbilt was mounting momentum, Sabine Ceballos cut it off really quickly.
Bases loaded for the righty, Dallas to the plate. Grounder. Slowly, left side, Ceballos, bare hand play. The throw to first, they got him. Big out to get. Sabine Ceballos ends the inning with Espinal grounding out to the third baseman.
This is an amazing. We've seen some great defensive plays, but right here, to bare hand the ball and fire a strike, and I think he got him. Sabine Ceballos is a tremendous athlete. Coach Waz says he's a better catcher than he is third baseman. Unbelievable play, barehanded, firing a strike.
Absolutely game-changing play, because after Matt Dallas would get through a clean 8th, Josh Molares came in for the 9th, and a 2-run home run by Vanderbilt made it 8-7. But that play by Sabine Ceballos that saved a run, eventually the game-tying run for Vanderbilt. Of course, the way the scenarios go, you have no idea how the game would have played out, but that was all the momentum in the Commodores' favor. Sabine Ceballos took it, and he took it away. And that would get Oregon to 2-0, and it would put them into the regional final. And when you're a 2-0 team in the regional final, you have the advantage. The Ducks would face off against Xavier in that regional final because Xavier got it done in the 1-1 game. And we'll break down how Oregon got the win in the regional final and advanced to their first super regional since 2012 when we come back on Duck Insider. You're listening to the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4 or haul fun with the Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Dear Summer, enter for a chance to win great outdoor gear at DearSummerSweeps.com. Toyota, let's go places.
No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents in select Oregon and Southwest Washington. Zip codes 18 plus years of age. Ends 8/123 at 11:59 p.m. PT. Void where prohibited. For complete rules, visit DearSummerSweeps.com.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Some of the best sounds you'll ever hear are generic, safe, effective, even money-saving, just like FDA-approved generic drugs. Even if they don't come in the exact same color or shape as their brand name equivalents, they have the same key ingredients and go through a rigorous review process. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today and visit fda.gov/generic drugs. Generics are safe, effective, and can save you money. You'll like the sound of that.
Unused prescription opioid pain medicines can spell trouble. They can spell risk if taken by someone they weren't prescribed for, harm if accidentally taken by a child or pet, or overdose if they're not used as directed. Safely dispose of opioids before they can hurt your family. Find a drug take-back option such as medicine drop boxes. You may find these in your community at local pharmacies or police stations. Visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Back on Duck Insider here on a Monday, feeling super inside the Country Financial Studios. Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. We just broke down the first two games of the Nashville Regional, at least that Oregon played in. The win on Friday against Xavier, the win on Saturday against Vanderbilt to get Oregon into the regional final, where they had to win just one and make sure they didn't lose two. Well, Oregon didn't lose any because they got into that game against Xavier. In that final game, it was Grayson Grinsell who got the start for the Ducks, and I thought he pitched really, really well in this ball game. He set a career high for innings pitched, a career high in strikeouts in this game. It's his second start of the year. Both of them have come in postseason play, and we knew that with Jay Stoffel banged up, with Isaac Aon still not back for the Ducks, the freshman pitching was going to be heavily relied upon. It was in this ballgame, and Grayson Grinsell was up for the challenge. He pitched really well. Labored a little, pitch count ran up, got into deep counts, but he won battles, and that's what's so important as a pitcher. It doesn't matter how long an at-bat goes. If you get the out, that is what is most important. Ended up going 4 innings on his final line, just 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 walks in the game, 7 strikeouts for Grayson Grinsell. He was really good, and the breaking ball was working for him. Got a lot of frozen-looking Ks on that breaking ball. But Oregon's offense wasn't the hot start that we saw on Friday or we saw on Saturday. In fact, Oregon hadn't gotten a hit into the 4th inning, but then it was Sabine Ceballos with one of the longer home runs I've seen this year. They said 442 feet on the ESPN broadcast. That's a long way. Is that Tanner Smith ball, by the way, on Saturday that was torched? It was only 409 feet because he hit it out of the ballpark, but he hit it down the line out of the ballpark, so it doesn't go as far. Sabine Ceballos went to the deepest part of the park and went into the concourse. Yeah. A grown man swing from Sabine Ceballos, his 16th of the year, and Oregon's pitching would help out the offense behind that little run support. Ian Umlaut came in for a scoreless 5th inning, and then the floodgates opened for Oregon's offense. It seemed like the Ceballos hit really sparked the offense for the Ducks. A balk and an error extended a 3-run 5th inning for Oregon, where the Musketeers just couldn't get out of their own way, couldn't get out of the frame. Oregon would take a 4-0 lead going out of the 5th inning, and then it went to the 6th. A huge 6th inning for the Ducks. 6 runs, all of them came with 2 outs. Riku Nishida came up with the bases loaded. On the ESPN broadcast, they were talking about, he should come up with an aluminum bat. If you've been following Oregon baseball all year and following Riku Nishida, you know that with a wooden bat, I think Riku Nishida, I'm not sure if Riku Nishida's gotten out with a wooden bat all year, and that's where his power comes from, with the wooden bat as well. Riku Nishida went to the gap, bases clearing double to give Oregon 3 more runs, a 7-0 lead at that point, and then 3 more. Big-time opposite field home run off of a new pitcher, Drew Cowley. A 3-run shot, his 16th of the year. That is 1 shy of the program record for a single season. Him and Sabine Ceballos. Who's going to get it? I don't know. They came into the weekend tied in home runs, tied in RBI. They're still tied in the home runs column. And now it's Cowley with 2 more runs batted in. Whoever finishes first in the RBI category will be a program record. They're both 1 shy of the program record for a single-season home run record. And at that point, Oregon up big late in the ball game. It was almost over. Logan Mercado came in, and he shut it down. I think it's a really gutsy performance from the veteran Logan Mercado. He comes in, knows that the freshmen are going to be heavily relied upon as the veteran of the staff that is veteran of the starting staff that is healthy, one of the leaders of the team. He says, no, I want to come into the ballgame and I want to finish out the ballgame. He does. He finishes out with 4 strong innings. Oregon ends up getting the win 11-2 in the ballgame to send the Ducks to the Super Regional. Riku Nishida in this game, he scored 3 runs. That is 64 runs on the year for Riku Nishida. It matches a single season record. Late in the game, Xavier, they didn't have a lot of offense, but they did have a few on the pond with 2 outs in the game. And Joey Mack on the call for the final out to send Oregon to the Supers.
Mercado's 2-1. 1 hop to the second baseman. The throw to Cowley. In time! The Ducks are headed to the Super Regionals. For the first time since 2012, Oregon advances to the Super Regionals. 11-2, the Ducks take down Xavier. The Ducks win the Nashville Regional with a 3-0 record.
Oregon with 9 straight victories in a row. Keep in mind, this is after Oregon lost 8 of their previous 9 before that stretch. What a turnaround for Oregon, and a big win at that, a 9-run, 11-2 win. And Mark Wasikowski's talked a lot about it. He's talked a lot about the resiliency of this team over the past few weeks, especially after that 8 of 9 losing skid after Jay Stoffel went on the pine. The Ducks, they have really gotten it done. Oregon 6-0 against Xavier on the year after they got the sweep to start off the year and then the 2 wins in the regional against the Musketeers. A few accolades for the Ducks in the regional. Riku Nishida named the Nashville Regional MVP, and if you watched the games, you know why. It was really a race between him and Sabine Ceballos for who had the better weekend. Give it to the whole offense, really, but Riku Nishida, I thought this was his coming out party to the nation. I think people really started to learn about the joy that Riku Nishida plays the game with and the passion and the vibrance that he brings to the game of baseball. He also was named to the all-tournament team along with Sabine Ceballos, Drew Cowley, Grayson Grinsell. Really strong Ducks. If I had a vote, I would also vote for Turner Spoljaric to be in there. After those 4-run first 2 innings against Vanderbilt, the 4-inning performance that he put together to get to the 6th and get deep into that ballgame to save the bullpen, I thought was really, really important in that game. Oregon headed to the Supers for the first time since 2012. A happy Coach Wasikowski postgame. We'll get to that after this break. You're listening to Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Dark and they will hear you
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. With honest conversations that let them know what we expect. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be shared with friends or family. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
We're back on Duck Insider here in the Country Financial Studios. Ryan Milano filling in for Joey Mack. Joey and the baseball team coming back from Nashville after taking 3 in a row and advancing to the final 16 teams in a super regional for the first time since 2012. Mark Wasikowski, Riku Nishida, Grayson Grinsell, they all talked with the media post-game after the win against Xavier. Nishida and Grinsell both on the Nashville All-Tournament team, and Mark Wasikowski going to his first Super Regional as a head coach of the Ducks. Let's hear from Coach and the student athletes.
Yeah, we just, are just really humbled that I get a chance to work at a great institution with coaches that are just awesome in terms of their commitment to these student athletes that I just can speak on behalf of my coaches how much we love them. And we got a chance to win a regional today. They pulled that off. The investment that my coaches, assistant coaches have put in and support staff have put into these athletes has been tremendous, and I can't thank them enough. And we got a chance to go to super regionals because of the efforts of those people involved. And with regards to the game today, just really excited about how, we pitched the ball with Grayson Grinsell, passing the ball off to Ian. 2 freshmen, they didn't look like freshmen or pitch like freshmen, and then Logan Mercado wanting the ball and not wanting to come out of the game, just wanting to finish the game. Just really excited that I get a chance to be with these guys every day, and none of us, the coaches and the players, we don't have to take uniforms off now. We get a chance to go back go back home and get a chance to play in a super regional next week, and it's a thrill.
Grayson, presumably you knew early today you were going to start and to wait with the delays and everything like that. What was that like in terms of your nerves and just how that affected your preparation, if at all?
It really didn't affect my preparation at all. I have a routine that I know times before the game, so once I got the start time, I knew what I was going to do. And really just being around the guys, really wasn't too nervous or anything. They really helped just kind of hanging out with the guys and just staying ready for the game.
Your ability to, even if you had some runners on base, to get yourself out of trouble with the strikeouts, just talk about kind of digging deep in those situations and getting back in the dugout.
I really wasn't thinking about strikeouts at all. I got 8 great guys behind me, got full trust in them to make every play, and really, it just gives me the confidence to execute the ball, throw it over the plate, and let the guys behind me go to work.
Enrique, in a game like this where you figure maybe you're going to see a few pitchers, what's it like to kind of get locked in for each at bat and then come through the way you guys did as the game progressed?
Sorry, could you say again?
A game like this, you guys saw a few pitchers, but as the game progressed, it seemed like you were seeing the ball well and you were able to put some big innings together later in the game. Talk about the mentality of kind of wearing them down and then coming through with those big innings late in the game.
I think. Sorry, that's a hard question for me.
That's a lot.
Yeah, sorry. Because.
Waz, you have a thought on that?
Yeah. What did you like? What did you like today about our team win on offense?
I think Saba's first hit is huge. I think that's kind of we struggled Xavier's pitchers. And then, he did a good job, I think.
Well, what are you most enjoying about this moment right now? What is the thing that you're happiest about?
Just happy for the players and the coaches and for Pat Kilkenny and for the people that gave us this opportunity. Pat Kilkenny, Joe Giansante, Renee Baumgartner. To be able to have George Horton here in attendance was huge. We love Coach Horton, and he, for I think it was a 5-year stretch. There were only 2 teams that won more college baseball games than Coach Horton's Oregon program did. And he took a leap of faith to come here with the people that I mentioned, with Paco Kenny and Joe Giansante and the others, and with Rob Mullins and Eric Riddell and that whole crew. And he took a leap of faith to do what he did. And now we get to try to, his reason why he came to Oregon was to get Oregon to Omaha. And it was probably one of the things that just was kind of left on the table for him that I know still bugs him to this day. And we love Coach dearly, and Coach flew in with Pat and a couple others, Joe, for this regional, and for them to watch these kids play and play their hearts out with a lot of adversity going on, and still be able to pull that off. That's really special. And so it's just a little bit closer to what they envisioned for this program, and to get the opportunity to be the head coach. And I know Jack Martyr and Brett Thomas, Daryl Hunter, I mean, these guys played at Oregon and came back and had job offer after job offer to go and be at other schools. Great schools, great baseball schools. They chose to stay, and then to have, Northwest guys like Jake Angier and Marcus Hinkle on my staff. And it's a thrill, because it's good for the Northwest. It's good for the people at Oregon. It's good for the people that had the vision to be able to do what they want to see done. And we're that much closer, so we get an opportunity to maybe pull that off here next weekend, which is the biggest thrill for me.
You mentioned the freshman pitchers on the heels of Turner's performance yesterday. Just the job of those kids, the maturation they showed over the course of the season to seize these moments, with Coach Angier's leadership. Can you speak to that?
Coach Angier was pitching 10 freshmen, and we're going to a super regional, and so no, it wasn't perfect throughout the course of the year, and he knew it wasn't perfect. We knew it wasn't perfect, and all we asked for was improvement. And as long as we could get improvement each and every day and buy-in to just the process, and the process is what we believe in as a program, and the kids bought into the process and Coach Angier's program. And you saw development, real development, throughout the course of the year with those young arms. And not only those guys, but there were several other young guys that got a chance to toe the rubber to help us get to this point. And, that's a credit to Coach Angier. He had to have a tremendous amount of patience. I don't know if there's another pitching coach out there that would have that amount of patience that he had with the young guys. And even the other guys, Austin Anderson, he never pitched in Division I baseball. And he's had a tremendous season. Josh Malaris was a transfer in that had decent years before, but nothing like he's had this year. And so the list goes on. And I mean, let's not forget about Jay Stoffel, who probably would have won the Pac-12 Pitcher of the Year had he not had some kind of a freaky finger thing that's happened. And we were able to advance out of this regional without Jace, amongst other guys that are really, really good. And we love those guys. It's probably the one disappointing thing is we didn't get a chance to travel absolutely everybody, and there's a lot of guys back home that I know me and my coaching staff and the other players would have loved to have had them here to be able to experience what we experienced.
Riku mentioned Sabine's hit. Did you sense maybe nerves knowing the opportunity that was at hand, and that hit kind of settled everyone in and allowed them to kind of lock in, and then kind of the dam broke after that?
Maybe on both sides, because they had a couple of tries at it too. They had some opportunities early, and there were some free bases that were being given to us, and we weren't able to capitalize early on those. And then for Sabine, I mean, we got, that was the first hit I think we got, and it was a big hit, and that did kind of take some of the pressure maybe out of the dugout, I guess. But the kids have been playing with the back against the wall mentality, and there was a time where a lot of people were talking about how great we were doing and all that kind of stuff, and then we hit the skids because we had some injuries and we had some real reasons why, and they could have tanked, and they didn't, and they came together. Credit to Gavin Grant and the older guys, Drew Cowley, Tanner Smith, Ceballos. I mean, those guys, Colby Shade, probably the toughest guy we got in the program. I mean, those guys brought it together and said, no, this isn't how it's going to go. We're going to change this, and we're going to play with our backs against the wall. And they did. They did for, the last, I don't know, a couple weeks, at least, few weeks. And it showed that's where we play our best baseball, and so credit to them.
Riku, with top of the lineup, I mean, he set everything up. He was all over the place this weekend with the infield hits, and then, of course, tonight he had the big double. I mean, can you talk about, how big his impact was at the top of the lineup this weekend?
He's even a better kid. Like he had an unbelievable impact on the games. But I mean, just his energy. He brings guys together. He's a uniter. He's going to be, whoever gives him a chance to play professionally is going to love this kid. And wouldn't surprise me to see him make it to the major leagues, even at his stature and his size. He plays with a passion that is second to none. And his ability to unite people is really spectacular, as is Ceballos. You know, it's an interesting locker room. We got a lot of different guys from a lot of different places, and some guys can't speak English as well as others, and it doesn't matter. These guys are awesome, and they've really brought Oregon baseball together, and it's just a joy to come to work every day.
Speaking of Sabine, I know he had kind of a slow start this weekend. I know he was huge in the Pac-12 tournament, but like his home run to get the scoring getting going in the fourth after a couple quick innings with no runs, like how big was that to just settle in?
Well, you know, you say he had a slow start, and yet, yeah, I guess he did have a slow start, and yet he made a Sports Center play last night to basically beat Vanderbilt, which is a tremendous program with Coach Corbin and what he's done here. And he had to make a Sports Center highlight play to be able to, for us to be in the situation that we're in right now, where we won. And so, you know, a slow start for him was probably my best games ever as a player. And so to have Ceballos with a slow start and still play as well as he did just tells you how good the kid is.
I think on Friday or Saturday I asked you a question, and I asked you if the bullpen was going to get burnt out at all. I have to apologize for that. They were stellar again tonight. I mean, you talked about the improvement that they've made over the course of the year, but now you have a list of guys that you know can come in and give you a good inning and get you through tough situations. I mean, how big is it to know that you have just a list of guys that you can bring in at any time that can get the job done?
Yeah, good question. I mean, then there's other guys. We had plenty of bullets, fresh bullets down there tonight too. It just Logan wouldn't let us take the ball from him. And so it's just that kind of mentality that's fun for us to come to work with these guys because they want it so bad. If anything, all we got to do is try to help them to figure out how to get how much, you know, how to get what they want, I guess. We've just been blessed. This group has been a blessing from above, and it's a fun group to be with. And hopefully we can continue this ride for a few more weeks.
Speaking of the ride, you got the Super Regional at home now. What are you looking forward to this weekend back in Eugene with a chance to go to the College World Series?
Wow, if we're playing at home this week, has that been determined?
I mean, Oral Roberts is the 4, so in all likelihood we're at home.
So Oral Roberts won tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. That would be awesome. You know, the people of Eugene are going to go crazy. It's a sports town. That place is going to blow up. So last time we had a Super Regional at PK Park, we came up a little bit short from a very, very good team, and they had to bring in temporary bleachers to where they could fit 7,500, 8,000 people or whatever the number was. It was unbelievable, the environment, and people were going nuts in Eugene. I'm sure it's going to go nuts this weekend if that's the case and we get a chance to host. It's going to be awesome. These guys, it's going to blow their minds.
All head coaching interviews brought to you by Willamette Valley Cancer Institute. Fight like a duck with exceptional research care close to home. And I really like that Coach Wazakowski brought up the former Ducks on his coaching staff because he mentioned Brett Thomas, who was the leader in batting average on the 2012 team, which was the last time that Oregon made it to a Super Regional, hosted a Super Regional. We'll talk a lot about the Super Regional and break down how you can get your tickets next on Duck Insider after this timeout. You're listening to the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4 or haul fun with a Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Dear Summer, enter for a chance to win great outdoor gear at DearSummerSweeps.com. Toyota, let's go places.
No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents in select Oregon and Southwest Washington. Zip codes 18 plus years of age. Ends 8/123 at 11:59 p.m. PT. Void where prohibited. For complete rules, visit DearSummerSweeps.com.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path, because when you talk, they hear you. Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Meet Ed, movie buff, animal lover, safe driver.
5 years of driving an ambulance teaches you a thing or two. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. When I see a car trying to rush past a turning bus, I get concerned. You see, when big vehicles turn right, they have to swing wide to make the turn. And that's a lesson you don't want to learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait.
It's our roads. It's our safety. Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Back on Duck Insider here in the Country Financial Studios. Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Ryan Milano filling in for Joey Mack, who is coming back with the baseball team just lifted off out of Nashville right at the top of the show. Breaking down the Super Regionals, it's the first time that Oregon will be in a Super since 2012. That was against Kent State. Oregon forced a Game 3 against Kent State, but ultimately didn't get out of that Super. Lost 7-6 in Game 1, won 3-2 in Game 2, lost 3-2 in Game 3. One-run games across the board. Supers are usually tight. Oregon's going to face a 4 seed in their region. Oral Roberts got out of the Stillwater region, a region that featured Oklahoma State, Washington, and Dallas Baptist. It was Oral Roberts who was able to persevere through them all. That will be the team that Oregon will face up against in this Super Regional. A little bit on this Oral Roberts team. The Golden Eagles have won 21 games straight. It's the longest in collegiate baseball right now. They have the longest winning streak. Their pitching is their strong suit. The 15-12 win over Washington that they had was the first time that Oral Roberts gave up more than 4 runs in a game since May 2nd. That was 15 games in a row. So the pitching staff going to be strong. That's strength on strength. Oregon's offense, a team that likes to score a lot of runs. But Oral Roberts also has a pretty good offense. They've scored 9+ runs in 6 of their last 8. If you go through their schedule, a lot of their games are decided by 5, 6, 7-run margins because Oral Roberts scores double digits and holds opponents to low-scoring games. The thing is, Oral Roberts, coming out of the Summit League, they've only played 3 regional teams this year. Washington, Dallas Baptist, Oklahoma State. Those are the 3 teams they faced off in their regional. They faced 2 of them in the regular season. They were swept by Dallas Baptist in the regular season, went 1-3 against them overall. They swept Oklahoma State this season, went 3-0 against them overall with 2 regular season wins. And then, of course, their win over Washington. Didn't play them in the regular season, so 1-0 against the Huskies. That's their record against teams that have made it to a regional. Oregon in line to host. The regionals sites aren't officially announced until tomorrow morning. 7 a.m. will be the time when the NCAA will announce if, in fact, PK Park will be an official host site, but that does not mean you cannot get your tickets. Tickets will be on sale starting at 5 p.m. today. All session tickets for just $40. If PK Park, for some reason, is not a regional or a super regional host site, then all of those will be refunded. But Oregon, they should be, if precedent stands, because they're the 2 seed that got out, Oral Roberts the 4 seed. More often than not, in most cases, the 2 seed would be the team to host. That's at least what I expect for Oregon. Nothing confirmed until tomorrow morning. Oregon baseball, Oregon softball, both super regional teams. Mark Wasikowski and Melissa Lombardi both reaching their first super regional as a head coach. One of 4 teams to make it to a super this year across the country. Duke and Stanford, a chance to make it where both their Diamond Sports team can get to a super. Quick segment here. We have to take our final time out of the show. We still have more to talk about on Duck Insider when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I've been driving trucks for a long time. Safety is my #1 priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
I found hope in the midst of an overwhelming situation.
Alcoholism is a disease that can affect any family. Everyone suffers, but there is help and hope at Al-Anon Family Groups.
Al-Anon gave me my life back. I'm a better father and husband.
Are you in an overwhelming situation because of someone else's drinking? Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Local and virtual meetings are available. Maybe one could work for you. Call 1-866-200-0033 or visit alanon.org/hope.
Back on Duck Insider here in the Country Financial Studios. Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Oregon baseball going to the Super Regionals for the first time since 2012. A chance to make their first modern-era College World Series appearance and a chance to go to Omaha for the first time since 1954. History making this team. They've got a lot in front of them still to go, and they're still knocking down barriers. It wasn't just the current team who was having success. Former Oregon baseball player Johnny DeLuca called up as part of the Dodgers organization, making his major league debut in the coming days. It wasn't in the starting lineup of the last few. He's one of 11 Ducks that have appeared in the majors this year, one of 7 that is currently on a major league roster. Way to go, Pro Ducks. The Track and Field National Championships, they start this Wednesday in Austin. A lot of Ducks will be there, so keep that on your calendar. Make sure to tune in. Joey Mack will be back tomorrow along with Rob Mullins on the show, so keep it here to Duck Insider. You're going to want to be there tomorrow.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for children and teens. Hospital and doctor visits, prescriptions, shots, and more are covered. That's peace of mind for parents if a child is sick or gets injured. And parents may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if they've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health.